Good morning, friend. Europe arms embargo and sanctions on Iran and mechanism. Europe holds a commanding position in Moldova, holds a high stakes. Russia warnings, Moscow threatens a decisive response. Iran sanctions, UN reimpose sanctions, Ryder Cup lead. Europe dominates the Ryder Cup, a pivotal vote under heavy Russian influence. Here is 50 sentence advice and questions. That is 50 sentence. Can the EU build stronger defense and will NATO allies coordinate responses consistently, or will is Europe strategic credibility? The EU accelerate military investments and efforts. How can Europe avoid being baited into? Would strengthen eastern flank EU? Should the EU publicly reform its support for Ukraine to deter? Will reimposed UN sanctions on Iran shift energy model? Should EU states anticipate disruption? Should European diplomacy coordinate? Is there room for back channel? How will European firms exposed to Iran respond to renewed restrictions? Could the sanctions re-injection provoke retaliatory behavior from Iran? Will Europe symbolize soft power, unity, or mere? Could the Ryder Cup success be leveraged to boost continental move manifest in sporting contest? Sports remains alleged. Will the Moldova elections become a proxy battleground between Russia and the EU? Should Europe provide stronger election monitoring and technical support? Moldova? Could Russia's interference disrupt a fair Moldova? Is it wise for Europe to invest in Moldova anti-dissension efforts? Would a European guarantee or compact for Moldova? Can Moldova be anchored into EU norms even before accession? What election architectures to resist subversion? Meddling in Moldova had political consequences. Could the outcome in Moldova reverberate across other border or candidate states? Should Europe cover more closely in economic and security structures gradually? Will a pro-European result in Moldova bolster EU soft power in Eastern Europe? Could domestic discontent in Moldova be exploited by external allies? Should the EU consider conditional aid tied to democracy? How to maintain long-term support to Moldova regardless of immediately electoral outcome? Does Europe need to rewrite its risk assessments for hybrid threats given the Are European institutions agile enough to respond to simulation fronts? Could the EU current challenges stress internal solidarity among member states? Should Europe preemptively recalibrate alliances and strategic priorities? Will energy security, defense and diplomacy be the pillars? European media and public opinion maintain awareness of these complex issues? Should citizen and civil society push their governments towards more coordinated foreign policy? Will Europe and resilient or fracture under pressure from global forces? Please like, subscribe and comment. This is the photos you would like. Please like, subscribe and comment. High stakes elections. Election under siege. Trending now in Europe, September 28th. Moldova's pivotal vote. Russians' shadow looms. Europe's crucial moment. Decisive response. Aggression will meet. Warning to the West. Iran under pressure. Sanctions snap back. Iran sanctions return. Europe owns all. Total European victory. Europe conquers again. Russians interferences and also please like, subscribe and comment. This is the imagination. Please like, subscribe and